The Shock wins in Shakriyar Mamedyarov beats Fabiano Caruana in the last round to make Ashimov proud. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave dominates for his team at the French League Team Championships and moves up to number 4 in the live rankings. And with guys like MVL and Nakamura absent, we have some newcomer cucumbers winning this month's Title Tuesday events. But before we do anything else, we start this Chess Center off the right way by paying tribute to a chess legend.
Of course, it's not easy to describe him as with few words. I played him first time in '91, last time was '99, and I mean it's amazing. And of course, I would probably remember him mostly because his fighting spirit, the love he had for chess, and really the energy and the strength, and he kept almost until 10 years ago, I believe, or even about 5 years ago, he beat Fabiano, and I think with more than 70 years old, he won a very strong event in St. Petersburg. He beat Blunder, and really fantastic. I mean, he was one of the best ever, I would say. Really special guy.
Well, obviously, Viktor was a very strong player. He's quite a bit before my time, even before I was born. But I think in general his contributions were great, and seeing the matches he played against Karpov, especially in '78, and I'll mispronounce it with Baggio, was a great match. And I think, definitely he was the strongest player never to become world champion. And just to see his love and his passion for chess, even when he was in his 60s, 70s, and even last time in Zurich, just showing up there and still following. I hope that I'll be able to have the same love and the same passion for the game that he had when I'm at that age.
He was quite a character. He definitely loved chess maybe more than anyone else. In this world, and of course. I have great respect of his chess career and of his devotion on chess. I'm not sure myself that I'm going to play chess all my life, but I appreciate a lot and I respect people like him. And of course, he was a very, very big part of chess history. Very big part, no less than many world champions. So of course, and last time I saw him actually a few months ago, frankly, I could see that he was not doing well already, but of course it's somehow missing him. When he has left, it's somehow difficult to imagine, because it seemed to me like he will always be here, just that he is a person who can never leave us, he's always will be here and will be playing chess, or at least looking at chess, or at least following chess games. But it's quite a loss for the chess world.
Yeah, he was a very special chess player. He was an example and a legend. He was always. You could always say that somebody, he plays for so long like Korchnoi, or he loves chess like Korchnoi, or Vichy, he's playing so well. Maybe he will be like Korchnoi, and maybe Ivanchuk will be like Korchnoi. So he is a chess term in itself. And of course, towards the end, when I saw him last time in Zurich, it was clear that his health is not doing very well. He was still watching the games, but it was also clear that it will be he will watch the games till his last day. He is an inspiration for chess players, and these things probably happen, with time, that nothing is endless. So, but yeah, it's. I had also some nice videos of him on my computer, which I started watching a while ago, and then somehow I forgot, but now I continued the series, and it's great. The way he talks about chess, his eyes light up. Nothing especially when it's going on at the board, but still he finds humor in it. He finds passion, and this is something the chess world needs. More people like that who show the passion for the game.
Wow, a sad topic, but still some amazingly kind words from some incredible champions about the passing of Viktor Korchnoi. Now, before we join Peter on site at the Grand Chess Tour with some live footage, I understand that our on-site correspondent filmed some of himself bouncing around the city of Paris in preparation for the GCT to kick off.
Hey Danny, this is Peter from Paris, France, where I'm covering the Grand Chess Tour's first leg, a rabbit and blitz event with the world's strongest players. For example, there's the world champion Magnus Carlsen, there's also speed chess expert Hikaru Nakamura, and for example, world champions Vladimir Kramnik, Veselin Topalov, lots of strong players. Great event here in Paris and great to be here. The tournament is held in the Maison de la Chimie, the building behind me, and it started on Thursday. I was here already on Wednesday because there was a business pro-am meeting in the headquarters of Vivendi, one of the sponsors. It was a fun event where top grandmasters joined forces with amateurs and played games where they had to alternate moves. And guess who was the most fanatic? That's right, Garry Kasparov. The tournament has started here on Thursday with the first day of Rapid. There will be another day of Rapid on Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday 2 days of Blitz. So 4 days of speed chess, and then an almost identical tournament will be held in Leuven, Belgium next week. So well, this leg in Paris will end on Sunday. So in next week's ChessCenter we will definitely return to this and see who won this event.
Yeah, it was a sad topic, but as I mentioned before you joined us live, Viktor Korchnoi.
Of course, the other big news, the biggest news of this week, of this month, this year maybe, is the passing of Viktor Korchnoi. And I think we had to start this ChessCenter with him. Fantastic player, of course, one of the biggest fighters I've ever seen, and simply one of the best players I've ever seen.
Wholeheartedly agree. It was great to start with a great video. Another event just finished, though.
Yeah, and then we had the Shakriyar tournament, of course. It's already a while back, but yeah, the Shakriyar tournament in Azerbaijan was won by Shakriyar Mamedyarov. He defeated Fabiano Caruana in a playoff after both players had finished on equal number of points. And well, Mamedyarov, I think, was the deserved winner because he actually managed to beat the players who were leading the tournament throughout. Fabiano Caruana, I already mentioned, and Anish Giri. They were doing very well, but both were defeated by Mamedyarov. So a local hero won the tournament this year, and well deserved.
Well, it was a heavy but very much appreciated featured news segment from you this time, Peter. Korchnoi, GCT, Shakriyar, we thank you for all of it.
My pleasure.
Well, Robert, I haven't seen a move of the week this good since, well, probably last week, but either way, tell everybody how Kwang Liam brought the hammer down against his opponent Murtas Kazgalayev at the Asian Continental Championships just last week.
Well, Danny, black looks to be okay here. There's opposite color bishops on the board. Black has 6 pawns, the white's 5. The king looks a little unsafe on the g8 square because g7 is under attack, but black thought he was doing fine with rook a d8, bringing his piece in the center, but not so fast. Bishop takes g7, king takes g7, and no, the point is not to deliver a checkmating attack, but after queen b2 check, f6, rook g3 check, throw in a check when you can, king h8, and now rook swings over to a3, trapping the queen on a4, giving white a clearly winning advantage, which white went on to win quite easily.
Yeah, it's always nice when you see someone play kind of like a computer, right? It's very human to look at a line like bishop takes g7 and think, well, I don't think my opponent can launch a mating attack there. And because of that, they would dismiss the sacrifice as not really being a candidate move any longer. But computers think in full board terms, not really in that intuitive human strategical way. And this combination shows exactly where Kwang Liam's head was at. It was in the AI interface there, playing like an engine, trapping the queen on the edge of the board, and with it, taking our move of the week. Well, Sean, the funniest or at least most interesting thing to hit the world of chess social media this week was when the Terminator sat down to play a game of chess and, well, I guess he got terminated, if I'm allowed to make such an obvious cliche reference.
I think you absolutely are. He's facing off against a two blonde locked predator. You can tell that he's being crushed, and she only thinks about it for a second before boom, there it is, checkmate, back range checkmate. He did not get to the chopper fast enough. It is a tumor. He has been defeated. So Danny, what do you think? Are you willing to play this girl?
First of all, I got to give you props for referencing just about every. The only Arnie thing you missed was "Welcome to California." He got taken to California, but you got the chopper in there, you got the tumor in there. So props to you. You know, I don't know that I'm that excited to sit down and play young kids better than me at chess again. I think I've lost to my fair share of adorable little monsters in my lifetime, and I got a few of my own at home. So I will ask the members though. Maybe they can say what their favorite or most memorable terrible terrible loss was sitting at a chessboard. Chess is race blind, it's gender blind, it's age blind, Sean. So you get these really funny matchups where you have big versus little and crossing all those sort of normal barriers in other areas of life. That's what we love about the game. And Arnie felt the wrath of this little girl in this week's Social Channel Chatter. Welcoming back FIDE Master Mike Klein, or should we call him Fun Master, from a well-deserved vacation in New Zealand, but no rest for the weary from travel. Mike, what are the major chess stories hitting the press this week?
Oh, good on you, Danny. While I was away, big tournament in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, never been there. The Asian Individual Men's Championship, and a surprise winner, 9th-seeded Indian Grandmaster SP Setharaman. He was a deserved winner because in the final round, he won as black against Wei Yi. In fact, he walked his king to c6 in the middle game just to do so. And he finishes above 8 other higher-rated players, including the top-seeded Li Kuang-Liam.
Well, got to watch out for those guys using only initials as their first name. Speaking of needing to watch out, there were some upsets at the European Women's Individual Championship, but a relatively expected finish, I would say.
Yeah, except on board two. Let's set the scene for you. Grandmaster Anna Ushanina was up a half point over 3 other players going into the final round, and she played a Grandmaster draw, a 20-move draw as white. She waited to see if anybody would tie here, and on board two, there was an upset. International Master Elizabeth Pates lost as white against International Master Sabrina Vega Gutierrez of Spain. So Gutierrez tied with Ushanina, but Ushanina may have known that her tiebreaks were going to be better no matter what. She won pretty convincingly on tiebreaks to become the European Women's Champion.
Well, I guess that's why tiebreaks are there, to reward overall tournament strategy. Before we get to the tournament strategy of our regular Title Tuesday players, tell everybody just how well MVL did leading his team in the 14th French Team Championships.
Well, Danny has 8.5 out of 10 sound. His team, Clichy, dominated the competition. In fact, got some revenge from last year's loss against Bischweiler in the Alsace region. So Clichy wins the French Team Championship, and Vachier Lagrave himself closes in to within a couple of points of 2,800. I believe that'll be his first time getting over the threshold, should he do so.
And currently number 4 in the live rankings. So let's round things up with how the top players did in the Title Tuesday, maybe taking advantage of the fact that guys like MVL and Nakamura were not present.
Yeah, kind of good news for the rank and file grandmaster out there. In the early event, International Master Minh Tran of Vietnam tied with Grandmaster Evgeny Shaposhnikov. Shaposhnikov, he's hard to say, but he was a big beneficiary in the final round. His opponent could have claimed a threefold repetition, but must have accidentally clicked the resign button instead of the draw button. So Shaposhnikov was the beneficiary of that unworldly mouse slip. In the late event, we had a rare 5-way tie for first place. Jose Ibarra-Yerez, he's a common cash money winner on our site. Conrad Holt, Alan Pichot, and then International Masters Maxime Chagayev, and again, Minh Tran. He cashed twice in one day.
Unworldly mouse slips and unworldly news coverage by both you and Peter. Mike, we thank you for your time, and speaking of which, I will see you in time trouble.
Good to be back in the summertime, Danny.
Well, Bobby Hess is a part-time chess player and a full-time friend.
Blunder of the week is the latest trend.
I don't see what Hari could have seen in Bishop H3, do you?
Well, Danny, I do understand what he was thinking, that if the knight moves, e6 is falling, perhaps with check, hitting the rook on c8. But what Hari missed is the simple knight f2, Forktown, Azerbaijan. The bishop on h3 and the rook on d1 are on pre. And after bishop takes e6, it is a check. But after rook takes e6, both rooks are hanging. White has nothing better to do than rook takes e6. And after knight takes d1, all of a sudden it's black up a lot of material.
Yeah, and to be clear for the fans, this was not one of those blunders of the week cherry-picked to show where maybe someone was losing already and they just helped their opponent get the job done. No, this is a position where Hari is much better, or at least slightly better. The rook on the 7th rank is dominant. Black has more positional weaknesses than white, and this bishop on a8 is nobody's friend. So this was truly a swinging of the pendulum blunder, and of course it might have been part of the reason that Hari just fell out of the running there in Shamkir, and so this game just completely fell apart away from the Indian Grandmaster after Black won a piece, and with it, Hari turned this potentially cute position into something a little too ugly, and that ends our blunder of the week and the unnecessary Juno reference. Saving the best for last, and it's time to talk fast. Mike, are you ready to roll through these topics?
It's Miller time.
The GCT gets started. Its 2016 season now underway, and they made it very clear and very obvious that all live transmissions of their moves will be free and easy to access. Are they making a statement to FIDE and Agon with this approach?
They are. Normally they wouldn't even tell us this. It was just assumed, but now they're sending out a press release informing us, which basically is a slight to FIDE. Now, Danny, in the last 14 days, we've lost Grandmasters Pomar and Korchnoi, and just recently, we've lost USCF past officials Bill Hall and Frank Berry. Is this the worst 2 weeks in chess for
I can't remember back-to-back tragedies in the chess world like this ever happening before that, so rest their souls, and yes, I'm going to have to say it is. On to a slightly happier note, the Isle of Man Masters and Open is now the Chess.com Isle of Man Masters and Open. We're pretty excited to start dabbling in over-the-board play. And how are you excited to personally get to travel to the island?
Well, Danny, I just got back from New Zealand, now Isle of Man. I think I like to go places where there are more sheep than people. I don't know what that means, though. 3 African-American grandmasters have all committed to going to Webster University next year en masse. Does this remind you of something else in sport?
It's a little Fab Five similar, right? Friends in high school agreeing to join forces in college, and let's hope it works out with a happier ending than it did for those players. Now, back to the GCT, the simul that took place on the roof, and what I hear is a wonderful opening ceremony, had pretty much all the young girls in attendance flocking to Anish Giri's section of the simul. How should Sopoko feel about this?
Well, they either all chose Anish because they thought he was cute or beatable. So, depending on that, Sopoko should feel either jealous or angry. Coming up this week in California, Tigran Petrosian, our Grandmaster Blitz Battle qualifier, will face off against Var Akobian in a mini-match. Do you think that this match will help Petrosian get ready for his date with Magnus?
Seems like a match between 2 Armenian friends who go way back. I'd have a hard time believing it can help him be any more ready than he'll ever be for the strongest chess player of all time. Mike, you showed up and brought it once again, and we hope this time triple segment goes down as one of the best of all time. And we'll see you next week, buddy.
Glad to be back. Thanks.
He may be cute for an ugly person. No. I don't know what to say that. Okay. Let's back up a second. It's time to run through the hot topics that we didn't get to earlier. Mike, you ready?
It's Miller time, Danny.
Sorry, you got me. Saving the best for last, we welcome back Mike Klein. It's time to start the clock and run through the hot topics we didn't. I'm tongue-tied today. Speaking of needing to watch out, I understand there were some updates. Oh my God. I'm bad today. I'm sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
Unfortunately, he may be cute, but we're dealing with ugly people. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to get that line in.